What's up?
Thank you very much. Now, I think the public can live with promises being broken, you know, after all circumstances change and people understand that. But there is a specific problem with that promise that David Cameron made, and indeed with the promises he's still making today, and they're being made by Labour, and they're being made by the Lib Dems, and it's simply this. When Cameron made that promise, he was being willfully dishonest, because he knew the truth, and I think now the British public, 5 years on, know the truth, that you actually cannot have an immigration policy. You can't set targets of any kind at all. You can't attempt to control who comes into Britain, all the while you're members of the European Union. We want a different relationship with Europe. We can't see it today. Normally you can actually from here. We want a different relationship, one that is based on trade, but not membership of political union. I've no doubt we'll hear from the Conservatives, who, having rejected the idea of a referendum all through 2012, are now saying they want one, and I think perhaps they've been pushed into saying that. But I've no doubt we'll hear, as part of the renegotiation, that free movement of people is up for grabs, but it isn't. And Donald Tusk, the permanent president of the European Council, my friend Mr. Juncker, the president of the European Commission, and most important of all, Angela Merkel, the real boss of the European Union, have made it clear this is not even up for negotiation. So my message to the British people is, if you want an honest debate about immigration, you've got to get a good number of Ukip MPs into Westminster next time round, because we're the only people that will tell the truth. And by the way, we are not being negative about this subject, far from it. We believe that once we've re-established border controls, the putting into place of an Australian-style point system would actually give us the ability to control both the quantity and, yes, the quality of who comes to Britain. I think we've been measuring things too much by GDP figures and arguing that uncontrolled mass immigration has pushed up GDP figures. Well, actually, that's not surprising if there are more people in the country than the GDP grows. What hasn't grown is GDP per capita, and what has fundamentally changed are people's communities and people's level of comfort, in many cases, in where they're living.
This wasn't on your pledge card yesterday. The Conservatives today say that you're making up your immigration policy as you go along.
Well, we'd have been very clever, wouldn't we, within 24 hours of our pledge card to have turned all this around. No. We want to control our borders. We want a rational, sensible, calm debate about immigration. But the first thing we want is honesty. And we're not getting that from the Conservatives. We didn't get it from David Cameron 5 years ago. We're not getting it from Labour now. We're not getting it from the Lib Dems. They are all saying they want to control immigration. The point I'm making is you cannot control immigration, all the while you have an open door to nearly 500 million people. And that is where the immigration debate in this election needs to start.